Well, we start with a look at our low temperatures for tonight. It is going to be a cold one. Take a look at that, 22 degrees for Deer Park. It'll be the second straight night in the 20s for a lot of us. Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 10 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan. And it's not just the cold temperatures we're tracking, but we also could see some snow this week. Let's get straight to meteorologist Thomas Patrick in the Outdoor Weather Center. Thomas, a balmy 41 degrees at this hour. What can you tell us, though, about the snow that we're anticipating?
Yeah, somehow seeing the lows in the 20s just makes it feel colder outside, even though this might not exactly be the coldest I've felt so far in our Outdoor Weather Center. But we're getting this push of some Arctic air, not just again for tonight, but this weather system that's over southern Alaska could actually give us some snow chances 2 mornings from now. So not tonight, it would be tomorrow night, and more so Wednesday morning. We have a chance still for snow in the forecast. I've kind of teased this since Thursday of last week. We're still on track for a chance to see those snowflakes mix in. Any kind of accumulations would be light, but where you see some of the blue shades here is at least a chance for some of that snow to stick to some grassy surfaces. So we're tracking that again for Wednesday morning. But in the meantime, another cold one for tonight. It's 41 right now. This is what it was this morning at 29 in Spokane, the first freeze of the season. We should be in the 20s yet again for the second straight night. Again, take another look at these low temperatures that will hit for tomorrow morning. So this is just a sign of that colder air pushing into the region. So this isn't just marginally 32 degrees. It is well below that, and that could set the stage again for some grassy snow accumulations. I'll show you more with the storm timing of that weather system later on this week, coming up in just a few minutes.
Thomas, thank you very much. If you live in Spokane and you're behind on your utility bills, well, you now have more time to catch up. The Spokane City Council voted tonight to extend a moratorium on late utility payments. This comes after the statewide ban on shutting off utilities ended on September 30th. KREM 2's Ian Smay has the latest tonight.
The Spokane City Council passed a resolution giving people more time to pay off past due utility bills. The resolution passed unanimously and comes as the city says that thousands of people are behind on bills that total more than $6 million. According to Spokane Public Works Director Marlene Feist, almost 7,500 customers had utility bills that were at least 30 days late as of the start of September. Those late payments totaled about $6.3 million. Almost half of that amount, or $3.1 million, was owed by just 1,400 of those customers. Feist also said that those 1,400 customers missed most or all utility payments since March 2020, which was near the start of the pandemic here in Spokane. The statewide moratorium on utility shutoffs for past due bills expired on September 30th. But in a unanimous vote on Monday, those people will now have until March 31st, 2022 to pay those bills off. As City Council President Brian Baggs, who sponsored the bill, explained, people can also make a plan to pay off the debt with the city.
We really need people to meet with our billing people by phone and set up payment plans, and that can continue to forgive late fees and keep the utilities from being shut off.
If people set up that plan with the city before the end of November, Baggs also said late fees will not be applied. Shutoffs will resume again after next March for those with past due bills, but Baggs said they hope it doesn't come to that. The city also has a U-Help program set up on their website to provide assistance for people struggling to pay those bills. Feist did specify that since those customers are still on the hook for the bills, it isn't seen as a loss of money for the city. In the newsroom, Ian Smay, KREM 2 News.
For the first time ever, a sitting U.S. president recognized today as Indigenous Peoples Day, but it marked the 6th annual gathering of Indigenous people in downtown Spokane. And this year's event carried added significance for the people in attendance. Joshua Robinson has that story tonight.
In the final moments of daylight just outside of Spokane City Hall tonight, more than 100 people gathered to commemorate Indigenous Peoples Day, beginning with songs of prayer. For Kaylee Kohler's family, the 6th annual Spokane celebration held extra special meaning today after President Biden proclaimed Indigenous Peoples Day as a national holiday this year for the first time ever.
The feeling for me is indescribable. I honestly feel like I said, empowered, as an Indigenous woman. It makes me feel really good because there's recognition there.
The highlight of the evening celebration included a drum dance as people across Spokane, representing all different walks of life and cultures, joined some of our local tribal families in a gesture of friendship.
You don't have to be Indigenous to participate. That's how our people are. I mean, you know, everybody is their own person, but for the most part, we try to encourage everybody to come and participate. We were doing the friendship dance, and it's about unification, coming together as one.
But while Kohler and her family brought a heart of celebration for tonight's event, there is another message Kohler hopes remains in the front of people's minds.
Our women and children are going missing and getting murdered, and nobody's doing anything about it. Nobody's talking about it. So it's something we like to recognize.
And as the night sky settled in over the evening's gathering, it came with a commitment from those in attendance to continue their pursuit of greater rights for the native indigenous communities of the Inland Northwest. Joshua Robinson, KREM 2 News.
Some of Spokane's local fire departments are expecting to lose dozens of firefighters due to the state's vaccination mandate. But as KREM 2's Amanda Rowley reports tonight, the Spokane Valley Fire Department is not losing a single firefighter.
The Spokane Valley Fire Department is ready for the deadline to comply with the state's vaccination mandate. The department has 176 uniformed personnel who fall under the state's mandate. As of today, 88% are fully vaccinated, and the remaining 12%, or 22 people, are approved for exemption, meaning the department will not lose a single firefighter.
Our end goal from day one was fully comply with the mandate, which is in essence a law for us, and secondly, not lose any of our employees, and we succeeded in both of those.
While Fire Chief Brian Collins is grateful the department will remain intact, he admits not all employees are pleased with the mandate.
They also understand the public health risk, they understand our business and how we interact with a vulnerable population, and they love working for the Valley Fire Department, and ultimately I think those factors were the ones that led them to go ahead and get vaccinated, even though it's a little distasteful for some of them.
While other Spokane Fire Department agencies are still sorting out accommodations for exempt employees, the Spokane Valley Department already has a plan in place. Groups of exempt firefighters will be reassigned to specific stations within the department, something they already do regularly. Those locations will manage daily COVID-19 testing for exempt personnel, and they must always wear an N95 mask while on duty. Chief Collins says these accommodations came about through an interactive process and thorough discussion with each employee and labor groups.
It's really just a testament of the employees, you know, what a great place it is to work, and everybody wanted to remain in their job and understood the challenges that we all had getting this thing implemented.
In Spokane Valley, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
Today we got our first initial estimate of how many healthcare workers could be losing their jobs following the vaccine mandate. The Washington Hospital Association says there has been an increase in the vaccination rate of hospital workers statewide. Overall, 88% of all doctors, nurses, and hospital workers are now fully vaccinated. 12% of state hospital workers are not meeting vaccination requirements. That percentage is a mix of people who are partially vaccinated, forgot to submit proof of vaccination, people waiting for vaccine exemption approval, and of course those who have chosen not to get the vaccine. Right now they are estimating that 2 to 5% will not be able to work after October 18th, a week from now. The WSHA says they won't know the full number of workers they will lose until around early November, but any loss of workers right now will put more pressure on the already stressed hospital system. Well, one man is in jail tonight accused of shooting and killing a woman in Spokane Valley early Sunday morning. 42-year-old Jason Woodleaf was arrested after gathering at a friend's house with his roommate and his girlfriend and 2 kids. At some point, deputies say Woodleaf got drunk, had a fight with the victim and then shot her before leaving. Woodleaf is now in jail for second-degree murder. His bond is set at $1 million. Also, police responded to a report of a man dropping off a woman at Sacred Heart Medical Center who later died. According to the Spokane Valley Police Department, the shooting took place when the driver and victim were approached by another man and woman asking for a ride. Soon after, the woman pulled out a gun, according to deputies, and a struggle took place, which led to the victim being shot. Investigators are now searching for 29-year-old Kayla Holden. This is a developing story. We'll bring you more information just as soon as we get it. All right, still ahead tonight, a Spokane police officer reached a plea deal today after hitting a car, injuring a couple inside. We'll have details on that deal coming up after the break.